Welcome to another episode of the Well Life Podcast, where we connect with individuals on what we have determined as the 8 dimensions of wellness.
Yeah, so bringing on Carlton today. He is a stylist. He actually does Tyler's hair, not my hair. Tyler's hair. Look at that.
And now also Osi's hair.
Yes, true.
So,
maybe Sal's hair,
just you.
the guy behind the scenes.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Carlton, happy to have you here, brother. Appreciate you spending some time.
I am excited to be.
Got a little energy out before we started the podcast, and now he's nervous. All right, here we go.
So kind of as we even discussed, right?
Yeah.
Just tell us a little bit about kind of you, right? Obviously, we have you on what we kind of determine as a wellness podcast, but who are you from like a business standpoint, and kind of then we'll get into further the podcast, right, and kind of jump into some deeper questions. But
yeah,
like, what do you do as a stylist? Who do you work with typically?
So, my name is Carlton Jean-Claude. I work as a barber stylist on Long Island. I've been doing so for 25 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a pretty awesome journey, I got to say, even till today. I've been really fortunate to be able to build my own brand. It wasn't easy. There was a lot of challenges along the way. Learning a lot about people, obviously, because we're in the people business, right?
Yeah. With the person for however much time you're there with.
Seriously. Can I hang out with you for 30 minutes? I don't know, So it's been pretty awesome.
Yeah, if you pay me.
Nah.
I charge by the hour.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Thank God minimum wage is $15 an hour now, so I'll be all right. I don't know if my twins will be into that, but
yeah.
So who I work with, I started with friends on the block. Friends on the block turned into friends at school, turned into my older brother's friends, turned into going to school for music education upstate, and wanted to drink for free. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wanted to make friends. I wanted to hang out. I wanted to make sure that I can be my whole self and not just be a musician at college. So I brought my clippers, crushed it up there, came back home, started doing a lot of hair, met a friend, I met a friend through a mutual friend, and long story short, went to beauty school, graduated, started doing women's hair in 2010, went down to Huntington Village, worked at the top salon on Long Island, Treasure Lee Salon, changed my whole entire life, my whole approach to hair, my perspective. I was able to now work with not just A through L people, right? I was able to work through A through Z, which is amazing. I mean, education is everything, and you guys know that. So after that happened, then they sent me out to Manhattan. I did all my education at Bumble and Bumble, which pretty much is the gauntlet. If you can get through that, you can get through anything. I was able to go through Fashion Week. I was able to do editorial work. I was able to do different photo shoots for different brands. I was able to, travel. I remember I got flown out to Aruba to do hair for a wedding. Like, it's really cool what I've been able to do with hair. It's something so simple, but the reality is everybody has it, right?
Yeah.
Like, and just to segue back into you guys, like, everybody has hair, everybody has muscles.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Or some of us don't.
Yeah.
Right? And we want to. We want good hair. We want great bodies, right? And to segue into my fitness journey, this is 28 weeks that I've been at it. As I started on week 1, 5 o'clock in the morning, I snoozed at 5:03. Actually, no, 5 o'clock was my alarm, and then I had another alarm at 5:03. So if I snoozed, I'd just before I can fall asleep, I'd wake up again.
Gotcha.
So then I would be in the gym by 5:20, and dude, I would sit on the treadmill, not the treadmill, but the bike for 5 minutes, straight up 5 minutes, and I'd be like, I'm good, and I go straight home, lay in bed. Next day, 5 o'clock in the morning, same thing. Before you know it, it was 2 cardio machines, it was 3 cardio machines, and one of my clients who's like really into working out. Not as much as you.
Yeah. I don't know how you didn't get this from me. But,
listen, I was down here. Now I'm, leveling up. So one of my buddies hooked me up with a nice plan, and I started following that. And shortly after that, I met Tyler. Formally met you because we grew up with each other in Huntington. And he came for one haircut, a second haircut, and I can appreciate the philosophy behind the 8 well lifestyle. Like I was like, this is real.
Yeah.
Like, and as a guy, if you're not fit or you are fit, if you see a guy that resembles something that you want to be like, you know what I mean? Like, you could decide to not ask questions, or you can.
Yeah.
Where do you work out?
Yeah.
Hey, how do I get my arms like you? So I would ask him questions about my diet, about working out, and then before you know it, I was like, you know what? I believe in this. Okay, I believe in me and what I'm doing and where I'm going. I'm gonna invest not just my time and my money, but my whole person and my thought process and my mindset behind this, so that I can move forward with you guys. So, thank you again for having me here.
Yeah,
you know, obviously,
for sure.
And letting me do this, because this is just solidifying my journey.
Yeah,
No, man. I mean, we appreciate you. Obviously, I appreciate you for the cuts, but also just your mindset and kind of the way you dive into stuff, right? So even like you just mentioned, we had right. I came to you for a cut because my hair was long. I was like, I want to do something else. Like you said, from a knowledge standpoint, you chopped it down. You did a lot of different things, like a different perspective on even hair that I had never kind of even taken, right, as a guy, right? You kind of, I get a fade, right, from here to here, and I get shaped up, and then like that, right? But you kind of looked at the levels, gave way more deep intel kind of onto kind of how I could take care of some different things. But then also, as we talked about fitness, you fully took that on. Like you just mentioned, 28 weeks ago, you didn't work out.
No.
Right? There was no semblance
zero.
of a
Crazy.
workout. And then you made yourself a person that works out, right? Inch by inch.
Yeah.
Waking up early, going for 5 minutes. I love that story because I think that we talk about that a lot because all of this stuff is built on habits, right? It's how do you become this person that works out? Okay, you wake up at 5 a.m. You actually get out of bed now before you're snoozing. Now, right, you do 5 minutes. Now you do an hour. Now you're working out 3. Now, as a person, you're Monday,
5 days a week.
you do 5 days a week, but you sometimes work out 3 days.
Yeah.
You'll hit something at 5 a.m. because that's part of your habit. Yeah. You come train with me, right, at 12, and then you play in basketball, like in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Like that is very impressive, right? Like to go from not working out to now it just being a part of your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like,
Quickly.
Yeah, very quick.
You know, that's
that
half
just shows
a year.
how you dive into stuff, right? And like I think to that same point of you just talking about kind of putting the pride aside, right? As a man, sometimes it's tough to do that, but putting the pride aside, asking questions of people, we're getting information from this other guy that just gives you a program. A lot of times guys are like, nah, I can figure out the gym. I'll do it. Yeah. But if you don't have the information, the only way to move forward is to gather the information, right? And you have to be someone that's willing to accept it or you kind of won't break through. So love that. Love the story kind of on both sides. I know we like to kind of start the conversation off of, and you may not even have kind of this answer yet or if you've thought about it, but kind of just like what is wellness to you? If you were to think about just the word in itself and kind of how you would value it or think about it.
Like define it.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna think out loud here.
Go for it.
Once I think of the word wellness, I just break it down. So well, you know, and I think of like if somebody's not well, they have to get well.
Yeah.
Right? Or you can eat well. But yeah, you know, getting well. You know, you want to work on your wellness. Okay, well, if I'm walking, talking, breathing, working, maybe I might be in a relationship, I'm living my life. Well, how well am I doing these things? How well am I waking up in the morning and going to work? How well am I communicating with my spouse, my children, my colleagues? You know, how well am I communicating how I feel about myself to me? Like, I was telling you the other day during your haircut, like, I'm so happy now.
Yeah.
And I think about where I was, and I'm like, I wasn't, like, depressed.
Yeah.
But, like, was I in some sort of, like, fugazi, you know, depressed happiness that I just was okay with? Yeah. Was I really well? Like, was I okay?
Mm-hmm. It's not like you're high. It's not like you're not, like, reaching or approaching your higher conscious level of what you could be.
Yeah.
Right? It's that, like, look at this. If you were to meet yourself 25 years from now and you did everything you were supposed to do and looked the way you're supposed to look and hit all the things and lived well, and you met that person today, how would you react? And be like, oh shit, is that going to be you or is that not going to be you? But now you're on that side.
I'm on the better side of it, and you don't know. Like, there's fast food places everywhere, dude. Like,
yeah.
And when you think about it, like, the first thing people talk about when they want to lose weight is they talk about their eating habits. And when you really think about it, if you're eating Like, and again, to go back to getting well, like how are you going to get well, right? How are you working on wellness when you're not doing things that are right for your body? You
Just
know,
conducive to wellness.
Yeah, your wellness has to do with your health, what you're putting in your body. I just told you, like, now for me, my mouth is like Disney.
Yeah, you just,
like, hold on a second. What you got in that purse, Mom? Like, you can't just come up in here. What kind of calories you bringing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How much are you bringing? Are you bringing fuel to me, or are you bringing weight that I have to carry around?
Yeah.
Those are two different things. One I'm down with, the other one I'm not. You know, so wellness to me is making better decisions every day, so that you can reach your goal. You know, or each checkpoint. You know. Each week that I went to the gym, it got a little bit better. I did an extra minute or two. You know, I pushed myself. I went from 8 minutes to like, I'll go to 10. All right, I'll go do the Stairmaster, but I'm going to do it for 5 minutes. I have to do 5 minutes. Now I tell myself something I want to do at night in the gym, and the next day, it just happens. I'm on the mat stretch, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Like, so
You've proven it to yourself that you can do it, so you just 100%. Are able to do it now.
I say I want to do things, and my wants now fulfill my needs. And I honestly don't even know the difference anymore, because I'm only doing the things I need to do. And if I want to do something, it's because I really need to. I've created distractions in my life that are right. Like, if I have nothing to do, I'm going to the gym, or I'm going upstairs after being done with, my work, and I'm hanging out with my wife and my kids. You know, if I'm watching TV with my wife at 9 o'clock at night, well, I could just sit down in my Eames chair, or if you went to decor, you know what an Eames chair is. But I can do that, or I can just lay on the ground, face the 72-inch, and do sit-ups. Tap those ankles. I can do leg lifts. You know what I mean? I can do something with that time. You know, we're all trying to get somewhere. But we don't really know where we're trying to get to most of the time, you know? So I decided that, hey, I want to be better. I want to be an awesome dad. I want to be a great husband. I want to have the physique that I keep on double tapping on and reposting of Tyler. You know what I mean? Like, if that's what I want in life, cool. I want my kids to say, my dad's Superman.
Love that. True. Yeah, I got a lot going through my head right now with all this, but taking it back to like why. Well, number one, what was the shift? What caused you to shift 28 weeks ago, right? How old are you? You're
37.
37. Why now? I mean, maybe prior, whatever you did, let's say 30 years ago, 25 years ago, whatever. Why now? You've seen so much success with what you do. You've built yourself up in your like you're a practitioner, a professional of what you're doing. You're an expert, right? Now it's almost going back to the body you've been carrying around with you that entire time, and you're like, oh, I have everything now. Like, let me look internally and see what I can fix here. What was like? Why did you switch that and make that change? Is my first question. My next question is, it's almost like you came in with a plan where you already saw the track you were going to take. Most people end up overwhelming themselves in the first week, or they try to accomplish too much, like I just said to you previously, in the first day or first week. And they burn themselves out. And the gym isn't fun. It's not friendly. It's not something that they warm up to. They don't just dip their toe in the water to test it. They try to jump all the way in, like, oh my God, I don't even know how to swim yet, right? And then they never want to go back again. Why did you just do that? Whatever the feeling was, why do you think it hit you where you were on the bike for 5 minutes? You took the time to get to the gym to go somewhere. And you're there for 5 minutes and you leave. People don't do that, right? So why did you do that? What's the switch, and why did you approach it that way?
I've always thought to myself before this time that my approach should be that of, I don't want to hurt myself, and I don't want to discourage myself, right? Okay. Like you just said, like you go to the gym and it's like, I did so much. Dudes haven't worked out in 8 years. They pull up to the gym and start curling. You know, they see mommy over here and they're like, They see homeboy doing his thing, like, oh, I can do that too. He leaves, he's feeling himself. Next 2 days, he's shot. His arms are killing him. You just started on arms, dog. You didn't even have a program. You didn't follow nothing, right? So for me, I was like, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna, bike, and just try to get my body going, wake my body up. You know what I mean? Okay. And then I'll allow that to grow, right? What changed? Well, I became a father January 30th, 2022, and
of two.
Two, yes, twin boys, Dominic and Carmine. And, just still living that type of lifestyle, as not just a business owner, but as a service provider where you really can do what you want. I mean, we work out, right? I'm cutting hair all day. I always tell people it's Friday every day in the salon or the barbershop.
Love that mindset.
You know what I'm saying? It's so easy to have a drink. You know what I mean? It's so easy to do the things that come with that lifestyle. And
you have to regiment yourself.
Yeah.
You have to take care of yours. You have to be on yourself.
Exactly. So I just kind of thought to myself, like, man, like this, the shit is getting old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and you know what? I'm getting old, and you know what? This is gonna make me feel older and age faster.
Gotcha,
and I won't be able to hang out, with my kids the way I want to. I watched my brother run around with his kids years ago, and I was like, man, I can't do that right now. So the reality, the change was that I wanted to be better. I literally, like, I mean, it might sound so simple and plain, but you know what, dog? You just don't have to get that Big Mac. I'm sorry, McDonald's, but you know what I mean? Like, the reality is you don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to get a bagel every single morning.
Yeah.
You just don't have to, like, and when you talk about, like, let's just talk about that recreational lifestyle where people can build addictions to things, right? We can build a parallel to that and say, hey, every single morning somebody needs their sausage, egg, and cheese.
Yeah.
They need their coffee. They need their this. They need their
don't
that
need
just
anything.
to function.
Yeah, no.
Dog, what you need is to figure out where you're going in life and figure out a plan of execution.
Yeah.
Not even just action, but to execute that and move forward, and 8 Well Life. Help me with that. I've done these things, and I was raised right. You know what I mean? My Haitian parents kept me in a place where this is the straight line. This is what you do, and not just that. Immigrant parents, they come here, whether they be Italian, Irish, Greek, Asian, whatever, West Indian, South American. I want to make sure I get everybody. No matter what, you come to this country and you don't want to cause issues. You keep your head down and you go straight. You go to work, you come back home, you take care of your family, and that's that. So, like, even a short story, when I wanted to start this journey, I went to a gym, 5 o'clock in the morning. I would pull up. I wanted to support a local business as opposed to, corporation, and I couldn't even work out in the place. It was disgusting. The place was disgusting, and I was like, I gotta go. I can't do this. But the reason why I wanted to go there is because in my mind, I was like, I don't want to be around people. I just want to focus on me. I want to do my thing, Yeah. But thanks to Beats by Dre, I can do the same thing at LA Fitness and, cover my ears and just focus. And I did that, and that's what I was focused on. No distractions. But did I answer your question?
You definitely did.
Yeah.
It's impressive though for you to be able to focus in kind of on this mega macro picture, right? Of I just need to be better.
Yeah.
I want to be here for my kids, and then be able to kind of make that an everyday activity, because you can kind of sit on the grandeur of, hey, I want to be better, but how do I do that?
Yeah.
Right. What's the plan? Yeah. And the fact that you were able kind of to dive down into that and say, all I need to do is get there. I just need to get to the gym. I don't have to kill myself, because that's what we see being kind of one of the biggest hurdles for people, is that one is very hard to start. So good thing you had to have a catalyst, something that's going to kind of make you jump into it, and that was the kids for you. But then, okay, I have my catalyst. How do I start, right? Like, how do I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and do this? Got to have some sort of motivation. All right, I got a little bit of that. Yeah. What do I do when I'm there? No idea. Like you're saying, dudes will come in and they'll just curl. All right, you've curled every day.
I'm doing arms today.
We had like a little conversation about, you see a lot of people in the gym that I've seen you've been there for 26 weeks, half a year or so, right? And it's like, I've seen you every day. You haven't changed, right? You've lost how much?
I lost 32 pounds.
Right, and like I'll probably tell you weren't on the best program, right? But you had a program though.
Yeah, it's consistent.
You had something for you to stick to, and you gave yourself grace. You didn't come sprinting out the gate. You allowed yourself to build tolerance to the workouts. You allowed yourself to feel comfortable in the gym.
Yeah,
and that's what you need, right? You need
100%.
to be able to allow yourself
100%.
to feel comfortable instead of just kind of burning yourself out in the beginning.
Yeah, It's almost it's so simple, but it's also so deep at the same time, because it's like no one really knows themselves. No one can I mean, they might know things that they want or like, but they don't know where they're going with them, or they don't know how to stop themselves, right? I've always, like, early on, I developed this kind of sense of like A or B, or 0 or 1, right? What's good, what's bad? And there was always a thing I said, like, you never, ever, ever have to do anything.
Correct.
Right? You only have to do something because you want to do something else, right? So it's like you start to live, and if you're living conscious enough, you start to feel like when you get up, why are you a little agitated? Or you feel like there's a little bit of a dark weight on your shoulder almost every day. And you're like, you know what? The other night I went to bed an hour earlier, and I didn't eat that thing that I had, or I actually got up at 5 a.m. and watched the sunrise, and I felt so much better that one day. And then it's like you start to realize that these little tricks or things that you play on yourself start to turn, right, the whole agenda for yourself. And then you start to rewire, and those things that people might live with that dark little cloud on their shoulder, be a little agitated, a little anxious for years and years and years, and just do everything to get by everything, rather than consciously sit down and like sit with themselves and have a conversation and say, yo, like, this is one thing I can change. Let me do this, right? And you made that in such a small increment, which is so important, because you just brushed yourself a little bit. You gave a little nice, easy push on the swing. You know, you didn't slam yourself into it, but it's crazy. That's like the balance of wellness, but it's so hard to do. And if someone tells you to do it, also the wrong person, you might not do it either. You have to do it on your own. So it's like, how do you figure out yourself how to do that on your own, and know that the things that you want are attainable? If you do the things you have to in the right direction, and you stop doing the other things that could be distractions, like you said, doing little sit-ups, like hanging out,
TV,
right? Like
chilling,
watching TV. Like those you should do that. Right? You should hang out and watch TV. But it's much easier to do that when you have a whole 6 days prior on a Sunday. You're sitting there and you're like, every day I nailed it this week. I got up when I needed to. I did this. I did that. I made this happen, right? And you could sit there and be like, I can watch 2 movies for the next 5 hours and do nothing, and it feels great.
It feels so good, dude.
Love that thought of you saying too, like you didn't even know kind of what wellness was, or what feeling healthy was prior to 26 weeks ago. It's like, who was I before I even came through this? Like, I thought I was a happy person.
I can imagine.
I thought life was good, right? But I'm at this whole different level now that I'm kind of taking care of myself. Right. That, I feel like that's such an important point. It's like, once you start taking care of yourself, you can start to kind of transcend levels you never felt before. So kind of with that, as we talk about your journey, which I think is crazy important for this service industry and what you're in, like, you have, like us, you have these full conversations with people as you're providing your service. It's not like being a waiter.
It's transferable.
Right? Where a waiter, you give and you leave. Where the service you're providing, you're there the entire time. So you also have to be well, right? Because if you're cutting my hair and you're grumpy, I don't really want you cutting my hair, right? Just like if I was training someone and I'm not in the mood, right? Now that person doesn't feel good, right? You think they want to train with me anymore? No. So I have to take care of myself in order to be able to give my emotions, my everything I can to the person I'm training. You got to kind of be able to do the same thing. So talk us through some of that, kind of how you bring your energy to your clients, and then also kind of how you see your clients' kind of health and wellness change, or how you've seen them affected by some of the work you've actually been able to do for them.
So I'll take it from where it was and where it is now. So like I said, it's so easy. You hang out, you have this person in your chair. I've known them for what? Like, I would say my youngest client is probably a year or 2 old. Not age-wise, but that's been with me. But after that, you're talking about 10 plus years. I've been doing this for a long time, and I've built a rapport with people. And since I am a private stylist, it is that intimate.
You're everything.
Everything with them. When they come in, and I'm like, hey, you want a beer? You want a drink? I mean, at one point I was making dirty martini shots. Am I still in the shot right now? Still good, buddy? Crossing my legs. I'd make dirty martini shots, giving people beers, whatever. And they'll do it. And then I remember when I made the change where I was like, I'm not going to drink anymore. I'm not going to, provoke it to happen. And what happened? I just started not saying the stuff in the fridge, or I'd ask them if they wanted one, and they would take one. Or I'd ask them while I was still cutting hair. I didn't go to the fridge.
Yeah.
I didn't walk to the fridge and ask them. I just said, if you want something in the fridge, if you want. Okay, no, I'm good for now. Okay? So that turns into, now I'm losing weight, you know. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, I've been going to go to the gym every Monday through Friday, 5 o'clock in the morning. And every single one of my clients, I mean, I did 55 appointments last week, right? 60 if you count the weekend. I've had, in the past 10 weeks, the majority of my clients have changed their eating habits.
Wow.
They're getting thinner. They have more energy with me. Then they come, they want to talk about their health and their wellness. They want to ask me about my workouts. I remember when we talked about doing the push-up challenge, and I was like, all right, you gave me that idea, and I was like, let's go. So I did 10 push-ups for every single client. I did over 500 push-ups in a week, you know, to bring it to them like that. I mean, the person at the fast food spot's not going to come outside and say, yo, I'm doing push-ups for every person that drives through.
Yeah.
They're not doing that. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So...
And to that point, they don't even get to engage with the people on that level. Like you're
if they can weigh those cars through the drive-through every time somebody went through, they'd be like, what? Right? Because my 32 pounds came over time.
Yeah.
1 pound this month, 2 pounds, 3 pounds over Christmas. You know what I mean? It just comes the way it does, and you don't even realize it. And just to piggyback off of what you were talking about, like, it's not just, you know, it's not just people look at me and you're like, oh my gosh, this dude looks great now. He lost like 3-4 paint cans of weight, you know? And that's real. It's the fact that I also have spent money on my mental, right? Because as a barber, as a stylist, you are that person's therapist.
Yeah.
That's what it is, right? But when you have somebody that's behind the chair, putting their hands on you and talking to you for 30, an hour, 2 hours, right? You're spending time with this person. You know, I've invested in life coach, you know, so much that then it brought me into a place where I was realizing I was compartmentalizing different things. Like, I'm not talking about my sex life with this dude. You know, I'm not, that is so precious to me. The intimacy with my wife, our marriage, our challenges, you know what I mean? Where we've been and where we're going.
Yeah.
That's not for this guy. This guy wants to make sure that I wake up in the morning, I got the right mindset, and I'm attacking my agenda for the day properly. That's cool. That's dope, actually. That's dope. I was glad that I got to a place in that season of my life that I realized I was doing that. And go figure, that last month of that time in my life, both of us went the same direction. My life coach decided to go get his master's in, you know, being a therapist. And I found a therapist. And what a smooth transition.
Wow.
And, you know, shout out to my boy Joshua Harrell. He is phenomenal. He's my therapist. And I meet with him every single week. And it was great that I was able to somehow be in his office the first, 6 months. And then now, I mean, the rapport that we have and just the growth that I've made. I mean, the people around me, I feel, are different from my growth. Whether it be I feel like I've leveled up and I'm there with them, or I've leveled up and now the conversations are different.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Now the
accessing something
conversations
else
are
because
different.
you're on a different level.
Yeah. So now you take all that and you put clippers in that person's hand, and they're talking to you about their journey. They're talking to you about, you know, the conversations and how him and his wife do check-ins every day.
Yeah.
You know, we plan our 15-minute check-in the night before. She knows what my schedule is. She knows she's off for the summers. So we're planning. We went to the library this morning with the kids. I came home, did my thing, got ready so I can come here. You know, it's exciting.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
To pause you right there,
go
but I
ahead.
think that's such a really good point. Because you're at a higher level, you're able to access this higher level from other people, right?
Yeah.
So they weren't even they weren't allowing you in that door because that's not where the conversation was, right?
Yeah.
You were saying you were being fun. You got I got the dirty martini
Yeah,
shots.
yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, this is a good dude. You're
Yeah.
social. I'm cool with
Yeah.
you. But once you were able to jump through that door and access
Yeah.
this higher level, they let
Yeah.
you in. Okay,
Yep.
now the same guy that was taking the dirty martini shot and maybe telling you about like some football game you watch,
Yeah.
right? He's talking about check-ins and how you make yourself better and
Yeah.
how you make your relationship better.
Yeah.
Right? You're just accessing a deeper breadth of information because you're ready to take it.
It's like the intangible. It's like almost your physicality, then your mentality. It turns into almost a spiritual, like you realize who you are and what the hell you're actually doing and what you could possibly do.
Yeah.
Right? It's like you just realize the delicacy of how you can influence people positively or negatively and how that can just carry trails into those people's lives almost. Yeah. You know, like what are you doing with your time, with the half hour that it is, right? Like what are they doing and what are they thinking of you? How are they taking it? How are they going home with that, you know? Could be groundbreaking stuff on whatever or groundbreaking stuff on, you know, these positive influences on this whole trail, man. It's crazy. It's like what you're meant to do with these people, you know?
Yeah, it's pretty dope, man. It's in the world of, I know that we're in a world right now, I shouldn't say world, but now in this country, you know, mental health is something that is, you know, it's always been around.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that social media has really brought things to people's faces more. Let's just keep it simple, right? It's in the palm of your hand. It's always there. You know, you talk about anxiety and stuff like that, and, you know, I can honestly say I've never felt so anxious in my life because of how well I'm performing as a person. I even stop sometimes in the house and I tell my wife, I'm like, babe, see, I just got this almost overwhelming wave for a moment where it's like, it's almost as if your wheels are spinning in one spot because you just finished one thing and you're going so quick. It's like, where do I go now? But it's like, it's because you're doing so well and you're moving. That anxiousness, I can't wait to get home. I can't wait to go to the gym. There's times where I'm driving and I'm like, oh, I can go to the gym. Maybe I had to cancel. I'm like, oh, I can go to the gym. And now I'm like, I just want to jump. I want to take my F-150 and like hit the jets and like fly up in the air and like hover. You know what I mean? Like I just want to get there. You know, so it's crazy, like, you know, and that's just a whole nother segment when you talk about just the anxiousness that we want to get somewhere, but then we have to have the patience. And like, you know, I thought to myself, and I said this before, I think it's just about sustainability. How can I get into this and keep it going? I love cooking. You ask my wife, I crush it in the kitchen, right? My beef Wellingtons, da bomb. You know, but why is it that it took me 27 weeks to start cooking? Like not like I cook, but like, why did it take me 27 weeks to start meal prepping? When I started meal prepping last week and it took me like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes to prep my whole week because I got it like that. It's just so easy to chop stuff up and cook it and season it. I told my wife, I was eating in the hallway, I was like, who doesn't like eating ground meat? Like, this is just an open-faced taco right now. I'm going in. Tastes amazing. I'm like, I'm good right now. I'm just popping hard-boiled eggs all day long. You know, like I went from not even thinking about what I was putting in my body to my wife lost 25 pounds doing Weight Watchers before the kids and then after the kids. So we already have, you know, I got a good base at the house, you know, but snacking is a mother, you know what I mean? So now, like, leveling up, like everything, like the thought process and my wellness. Well, how well can I do this? You know, how do I get rid of this, get rid of that, trim all the fat off and say, this is what I'm going to do. This is what makes sense. Now, like last night, I took a bowl of the Tostitos salsa and I took a little Tupperware, filled it up with chips. And it worked out. I was hoping that it worked out. You know, when you're trying to get all the dip and you only got like 3 chips left, but you don't want to get more chips. So you do this game where you're trying to make sure you get it all. So it worked out and I did that. But you know what? I told my wife this morning, I said, you know how good it felt to eat that? And like, I was good. I was good.
You're allowed to eat that.
Yeah. You get mad at me because I'm not even eating enough carbs. Exactly. You know what I mean? So I'm hitting that up and it felt great. And then Weight Watchers is great because they say that salsa is 0 points. So I'm Gucci, you know what I mean? So yeah, man, it's like I'm in a place where I'm sure a lot of people want to be, and there's a lot of people that are in this place and might not even talk about it. And I think that this podcast is a great place where you guys talk about things and people like me can come here and tell people like, yo, It is hard. It is hard. It is hard when you're used to doing the same thing all the time. You're eating the same junk food. You don't think there's nothing wrong with it because it's fast food. You're supposed to get it real fast. It's on the road. You get a hero every day. You get a bagel every day. You know what? All it takes is just a simple thought of, hey, you know what? Maybe I'll buy 5 bagels in the beginning of the week, right? And see what happens. Make a bagel every morning. See if it changes. Let's see by day 3 if you're still making bagels in the morning because you ain't got time for that. You don't feel like toasting it and putting it down. It's so much easier to just go to the spot, spend $6.50. I don't know how much a bagel costs now, but on a bagel, right? It changes your whole perspective. Most people want to go get a gym membership because they can start working out. Yo, dog, why don't you do some push-ups?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Same,
Baby
coming
girl,
back
why don't
to
you
that.
run around the block
Start
a couple
small.
times? And I'm not saying that maliciously.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that maliciously because you know what I did was way more than what that is. I was getting up, getting dressed. I put my clothes at the end of the bed, get in the car, drive, get out, you know what I mean? And walk up the 2-3 flights of stairs to get to the cardio machines. And then I got to do it. Then I got to motivate myself to actually do it. You know? So, I don't even know where I was going with that.
No,
but,
yeah.
you know, it's just, sometimes I go,
Yeah, man.
it's just the
good, though.
passion behind it. You know, I
It's
just
real.
really,
We
I
love it.
enjoy where it's at right
We
now.
love it. We love where your mindset is. Love to hear about your journey, both personally and then also kind of even how you affected your clients. Mostly appreciate you taking some time to
man.
come jump
This
on
is-
with us. And
this is
right,
awesome.
but also like you're in the service industry. You could have taken a client right now. Instead, you took some time to come with us. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, appreciate it big
having
time.
you here today, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go check out my new space. Stay
Let's go.
tuned.
Yeah, tell them. So let them know like where can we find you and.
So Carlton Jean-Claude, you can find me on Instagram. Check me out there. I am a private stylist, so I do consultations first. Hit me up. We can make something happen. See if we can work with each
We're
other.
going to be doing some things right through Raywell, through the studio.
Yeah.
I know we got some exciting things to do working with you, and then congrats, right? Hopefully open a new space soon.
Yeah, dude, I'm excited about it. It's going to be great. Thanks, guys. Appreciate
Congrats,
it.
man. Thank you, brother.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Yeah.